Greetings, mortals. Jared Petty here with IGN, and today we're looking at GTA Online's Content Creator Beta, specifically the Deathmatch section. I've been working here for a while on my very first Deathmatch scenario, and I think it's come along okay. We're going to look at how we do this. When you're creating a Deathmatch, you're going to have a handy little menu up here in your top left corner, and the first thing you have to do is set three details. First, you need to name your Deathmatch. You'll see that mine's called Thunderdome. Not particularly original, but appropriate as it's set on top of the dome here in downtown Los Santos. Short description, 500 characters or less. And then a photograph that'll describe the thing when you put it up on the Rockstar Social Club. All deathmatches created under the current content creator need to be deathmatch/team deathmatch compatible. That means the maps are going to be available for both. You can set the number of teams right here, anything between 2 and 4. The number of players, anything between 2 and 16. You set a minimum number of players, minimum 2, maximum, the maximum number for the scenario. A time limit, in this case mine's set to 20 minutes, and I think that's too long, so I'm actually going to cut it down to 10 minutes. A target score of 25 kills. You get some three very interesting options right here. You can choose what weapons the players in your scenario are going to start with. You can let them bring whatever they own in, plus whatever they pick up. You can force them to start with one specific weapon of your choice and whatever pickups they have, or you can just lock them down to a specific weapon if you really want to level the playing field. You set that forced weapon right here. It can be any weapon in the game, even melee weapons or no weapons at all. Set a time of day. Change things up a little bit. Change the weather, the traffic. Have what radio station's going to be playing in the lobby, and when you've got all that set up, you back out of here and you actually get to the nitty-gritty of the placement. Now you see we've got pretty good zoom and spin and pan controls going on here. It's very intuitive. There are maximum numbers of each kind of object that you could place on the map, but those numbers are very generous, so there's a lot you can do with it. You see I'm focusing on the top of the stadium, but I've actually got stuff laid all around here. We'll look at that in a sec. Alright, so first thing we've got to do is place a trigger. We've actually placed one for this mission right out front. This is the little glowing blue orb that you see when you drive by. This tells people where the mission starts. You see in this case it's going to start right under where this helicopter is. I have one of those placed. So that's what you're going to see when a player's driving along the main map and they want to find the scenario to start it. That's where you're placing that. It actually can be anywhere relatively close to the position you want the map to start. It doesn't have to be out front or center or anything like that. We set a lobby camera angle. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then all the fun stuff. Spawn points. And we've got spawn points all over. All these little white dots. If we want to set a spawn point, we got a maximum number of the map right now. We set it, and you see that we can rotate using the bumpers or the triggers. The direction the person will be facing when they come in. We place it. That's it. We also have to set a certain number of team start points for team scenarios. In this case, you see that for Team 4, there's only 4 start points because that would be a 4-on-4 match. Whereupon for some of the larger teams, Team 1 and Team 2, if it's going to be 8-on-8, you see we have 8 right here. Make sense? Cool. Moving on. Weapons. Oh, everybody loves this part. Yep, you can set them all over the place. You've got every weapon in the game available. Again, you just lay it down. You notice I'm getting this little exclamation mark? That's because I've laid the maximum amount of weapons I can. There's one right there. We'll zoom in and look at it. Cool. We can put these all over the place. Vehicles. Love this. And again, I've laid a lot. Now, you notice a lot of this is happening on top of the dome, but you see I've scattered some parachutes around the edges here. Well, the reason for that is I've hidden most of the heavy weapons along the edge of the map on the outside below the dome. So you have to parachute down to get to them. Well, once you parachute down, how are you going to get back up? Lots and lots and lots of helicopters. Laid out everywhere in a semicircle around the arena. Now, some jerk might try to blow all these up. If they do, well, you might just be stuck down there until you get killed or blow yourself up or find another way. We're still working on that. But, well, anyway. Oh, look, a tank right smack in the middle. That ought to be fun. Especially on top of the roof with limited maneuverability. I think this design will work out well. We've got good cover laid all over the place. The props, which control your cover, your explosive barrels, all kinds of other things from throughout the game. This is very extensive. You can create just about anything you see laying around Los Santos in a backyard, in a construction site, along the piers. There are a huge selection of items. I really like this part. One of the things I want to pull up here for you, let me find it, are dynamic items. Exploding barrels, traffic cones, things you can knock down, security fences you can break, mailboxes you can tear down, all kinds of fun stuff. You can put cars on top of buildings if you want, so I can use this little edge around here as a racetrack. Now, we've got all this, and that's very cool, but you notice we're up here in the sky. What about indoor or underground areas, places we couldn't get to easily? I mean, you know, this is cool and all, but what if we want to get underneath something? I mean, look at the garage down there. I can't put anything in there. Ah, well, all I have to do is press one simple button, and my camera angle changes to the ground. And here I am, right where I was pointing. And looky here. I placed a weapon down there, and I've got another one over here, too, I think on the stairwell. If I wanted to place something new, I'd bring my menu up, and look, I can place things just like I could before. Back out of this menu, pop up, button. I can pop back up to the sky view again. So you got all this put together, and by the way, Rockstar has a very nice tutorial about it, so you get your feet wet with it. It does take a while. There's so many options, it quickly becomes overwhelming, especially for what I'm trying to do here with a large map. You got a randomizer, too, which is a handy little thing that'll just allow you to drop spawn points of weapons within an area. You can designate a zone, and it'll space them out for you. It's quite handy. You've got a radar switcher here. That's not a radar switcher for the scenario. That just allows you to see where you've got everything. Get a very specific idea of what weapons are sitting where. I cannot begin to tell you how helpful this is when you start analyzing how your actual map layout works. So we got all this cool stuff. What are we going to do with it? Well, we're going to test it. See, Rockstar forces us to play the scenario for at least 2 minutes or a maximum number of kills every time we change it. The reason it does that is to make sure that we don't screw things up or have something horribly broken that we then try to upload. So here we are. Here at my spawn point. You see we're down here kind of under the edge. Now, you see this guy right here firing blankly into the wall? These are the bots that help you out with the scenario. And, well, frankly, on this kind of map, they're not very bright. So you're not necessarily going to get the best idea of what your map's going to do, but it gives you a rough edge. You're going to run up here and see what it's like to run from spot to spot. Take a little cover, get shot, and we've got invulnerability turned on, which is a menu option. It's helpful for testing. Run up here. Hey, tank's there. We can grab one of the all-terrain vehicles. Come down here. Play with this ramp I placed, maybe. We'll go around the edge. Oh, I could just fall off the roof. Oh, there we are. Well, didn't expect that to happen. Good thing we're invulnerable. Bombs away! Oh, yes. Well, there we are. So the bots are running around on the roof shooting each other. Not accomplishing a lot. We're going to use one of the 20 or so helicopters scattered around the map. Make our way back up to the rooftop. And you see the timer going off in the bottom right corner. Just letting you know the minimum amount of time I can test. I would actually test a map I was working on, and I have tested much longer than 2 minutes. But the fact of the matter is, I've tested this one so much, I got a pretty good idea of what it can and can't do now. So, land back down here. Not accomplishing a lot, just running around, giving you a look at it. The reason we've got to wait through these 2 minutes beyond making sure we have a good map is because once that's done, I'm going to show you how to save it and how to publish it. And that's kind of ridiculously easy. Oh, good. Let's see. Well, that didn't work very well. It's hard to drive in that rooftop. I kind of designed this map to be frustrating. With a lot of practice, you can accomplish a lot with it. I wanted to play with this a little bit. Let's see if this is placed where I want it. Yes, it is! Woohoo! There we are. That's fine. Alright, well, hey, look, another helicopter. Fortunately, time has run out. We can bring up our menu. Exit the test now. Pop out of our test. And after a little bit of loading time here, the scenario will return us to our menu, and I'll show you how to save and publish. If you save a game, it's available to you to keep working on. It's also available to anyone that logs into one of your hosted sessions. So if you want to play it with your friends, you never have to publish it on Social Club to play with it at all. However, you see my menu option is to say save. It says update version. That's because I've already published to Social Club, which takes about 5 seconds. Now I'm updating on Social Club. Going to upload. There we go. And now Thunderdome, whether you play it as a private game or on Social Club, will be available. It can be rated. Apparently, Rockstar is going to pick some of these out and highlight some of them for the community. I don't know very much about that yet. I don't think anybody does because it's brand new. But that's the GTA beta for the Deathmatch section of the content creator. There's also a racing section. We'll be looking at that later. But for now, for everything you need to know about GTA, keep it locked here to IGN.